Hello everyone, welcome to the Policy and Legal Advocacy Center Legislative Internship Programme podcast, funded by the European Union under the Support for Democratic Governance in Nigeria (EUSDGN) 2 program. My name is Godwin Ogbiji. I am from Cross River State, and today we are all seated to discuss or to answer the question, what does the national budget mean for young people? At my far right is
I'm Soda Gladima from Sokoto State.
Hi, Umar Salman Adeyemi from Osho State.
Mustafa from
Muhammad Kabir from Kasuna State.
A budget is an annual fiscal plan of a government meant to state how the government intends to generate revenue and how it intends to expend the revenue in the course of the year. On Wednesday, the 29th of November 2023, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu submitted a budget estimate of about 27.5 trillion naira to a joint session of the National Assembly. In this budget estimate are some major indices which include $77.96 US dollar per barrel for the oil price benchmark, a daily oil production estimate of about 1.78 million barrels per day, an exchange rate of 750 naira per US dollar. Also, 8.2 trillion naira was budgeted for debt servicing, about 8.7 trillion naira for capital expenditures, and about 11 trillion naira for recurrent expenditures. However, our concern today is what these figures mean for the Nigerian youth. So, Kabri, could you tell me what you think, as a young person, what you think is the perception of an average Nigerian youth to the national budget?
Okay, looking at the 2023 budget, about 193 billion was allocated to the Federal Ministry of Youth, which is like the main ministry in charge with the youth participation. So personally, I feel there's a gap, or rather a challenge, whereby the youths have kind of a disinterest or an apathy regarding knowing how the budget processing is being taken care of. But moreover, my own suggestion personally, I feel there are some key points that should be looked upon, which will assist in having the participation of youth into the budget process, such as education, which is like the key, creating awareness, representation, starting from the grassroots, involving right from the local level, accessibility, transparency. So I feel those are the key points that could actually be brought in, to assist youth in involving our budget process to participate in.
From your suggestion, you mentioned education and you mentioned it first. It would seem to me that there's a knowledge gap amongst Nigerian youth concerning the national budget. If that's the case, Mustafa, if you agree with me, could you suggest ways or initiatives you think could increase the knowledge or increase the interest of Nigerian youth in the national budget?
The budget is quite a complex process, like including different stages. That's from presentation of the estimate to the Joint National Assembly session of Indonesia, up to the cases where it is kept down to the community level, where they are responsible for taking it to the grassroots level and heading up the members of the certificates, not only it. Going back to the main question they asked about the perception, the general misinformation regarding the budget process and the budget cycle in time. The youth do not feel involved in the processes. To an average youth, budget is not even an estimate. It is just like the money is already on ground, just to be expended. A lot don't even understand the process of like generating what all this estimate that you mentioned about the value benchmark mean. What did they translate? Generating the budget before even going to the question of breaking down the estimate and what the government plans to. So like you mentioned, the main process that will include the youth more is opening up these processes and making it more transparent, more inclusive, and taking it to the grassroots level. in the sense that you need to feel along in using like social media platforms, one form of communication that the youth are already included in. So that's just my candid opinion about the perception and the ways to include the more youth.
Thank you. I think if we have some specific initiatives, maybe bodies that can increase the perception of the youth, or rather increase the interest of the youth in the budget, I think they could really help. So, Umar, I'd like you to respond to that. Do you think there are initiatives that can increase or make the interest of the youth in the budget stronger?
Yeah, Godwin, you see, when we are talking about budget passing processes in Nigeria, we must look at the fact that the processes of passing the budget transcend beyond just the president laying the budget before the National Assembly. There are other processes that are involved. For example, the civil society organizations are meant to be part of the processes to ensure that young persons put their voices into these budget passing processes. Number one, talking of initiatives, we should rather look at the concerns and the activities of the civil society organizations such as PLAC, such as Budget, Young Africa, and a whole lot of that. For example, Budget has a program which they call Tracker, which is used to track the implementation of the national budget. Now, young persons have that initiative already. They should key into it, key into the activities of the NGOs working towards ensuring transparency in budget passing processes. Then also we must commend the Speaker of the House of Representatives during the vote of thanks on Wednesday, when he affirmed that the House of Representatives has an initiative to organize town hall meetings for the passing of this 2024 budget. For example, I would like to know that this town hall meeting is a veritable opportunity for young persons to attend, to amplify their voices, and also raise concerns to government, to let them know that, okay, look, these are things that are of utmost priority to us: education, empowerment, innovation, tech, and a whole lot of that. So this town opportunity is one thing that young persons in Nigeria should take very seriously and be part of it. So other initiative that could come up is to domesticate the budget passing processes, to ensure that even members of the National Assembly go back to their constituency, consult, and raise awareness about the national budget. And talking about the perception of Nigerian youth about budget passing processes, I think there is a very huge knowledge gap, and in addressing this knowledge gap, government must come down to the level of the people. Thank you.
Thank you.
To add to what our previous was saying about initiatives, it is good to note that currently there are initiatives in the state level. There are things like Zamtaka, there are things like vampires.
You follow the money too.
Having some model in the budget IT and the others. So it's not only about the national budget. The states are even coming up with things to include the youth, the processes of and the budget implementation and process.
Yeah. So Sauda, why we are very interested in the youth is that in Nigeria, the youth accounts for about 70% of the population. So looking at the national budget, the one that has been presented to the National Assembly, and even from your knowledge of past budgets, do you think the needs of the youth are adequately catered for?
Well, I wouldn't say adequately catered, but this 2024 budget, I feel to some extent will cater to the needs of the youth, because we have the student loan scheme, which will kickstart in January. The number of dropouts now due to inadequate funding of school go very down, drastically low with this new intervention of student loans. And we have this SMEs. There is a provision for SMEs, SMEDA. Most of the Nigerian youths now are into entrepreneurship. So with this access to loans, grants, facilities, it will subsidize the hardship that has been brought by the removal of fuel subsidy, because things are hard now. The youth that are having business who has to keep the business afloat with this exchange rates and stuff. So I believe with these SMEs that is coming up with this mainland program that has just been launched, I think this week, the loan process application has started now. So the young young Nigerians, youth that are into entrepreneurs, are encouraged to apply for that loan. So by applying to that loan, at least it will boost their capital. They would have more facilities. Even if you're not into business, you can apply. You can start anything you want to. So with this, few the students' loan and the SMEs, I feel the needs of the youth will be met to some extent. So yes, even though if so 100%, at least it's a step forward into the future.
Sauda, in answering your question, you were very careful to state not adequately catered for.
Yes.
So I believe that the rest of you will share the same position with her. So what pressing issues, youth-based issues, do you think should be addressed in the 2024 budget? I ask this question because the budget process is still going on and the legislature have the power of the purse. They can influence the budget. So I believe our suggestions could get to them. What pressing issues of the youth do you think should be addressed in the 2024 budget?
Okay. Basically, I think Sauda has actually really highlighted the main pressing issues that the president has actually outlined regarding to the youth. Because looking at the budget's presentation, it was kind of a bit concise, not really even put into details. But I feel the real emphasis being laid by the president is actually the student loan, which has already elaborated more on it. The issuance of loans, grant loans, that is bringing involvement of the SMEDAN, that's like the small, medium enterprises, encouraging the youths that are involved into entrepreneurship. And I think to add up to what she said, I think that's true. He made emphasis on job creation. So looking at those three, key aspects he illustrated on that day, I feel will really go on pressing issues that regard to youths. So I think basically that's.
Okay, Mustafa.
I think as far as I'm concerned, most of the solution provided are more socialist, pro-poist, and running at reducing the company. Then, one over the world, countries are proposing ways to reduce like the workforce and the current expenditure of the government. One of the main complaints coming out from budget and then budget processing that still the current expenditure has carried the bulk of the budget process. So I believe even though like both mentioned, the president made emphasis on the creation, security and infrastructure, which will definitely directly or indirectly affect it. What I would suggest is that let there be real processes that will be permanent solution, not just make up solution that will just be brushed aside and then to cover the problems in the short term. Then there be real solution that will tap into the entrepreneurial skills of the youth, their ingenuity, the fintech. Today, the Nigeria is startup hub of Africa.
Yeah.
There are a lot of startups coming up in fintech, in agriculture, and then you are dealing with the culture and arts. So these are areas that government is covering serious policies. Yes, and yeah, not just some makeup processes, conditional transfer or something that might not be accessible to me. So that's not such.
So hopefully, we just hope that when the more details of the budget comes in, we would see all what he just outlined. We hope it will actually be tackled more on that pressing issues, because we feel those are things that really affect the youth, basically.
Yeah. So
you see, for me, education liberates the mind, and it is the most powerful weapon to fight any form of poverty in the world. Now, critically, that budget needs to address the issue of education, quality education for the Nigerian youth. If you are educated to a level that you are self-reliant, it will go a long way in solving most of our problems in this country. Now, let's come back to the major concerns of Nigerian youth: unemployment. If government can pump enough funding into skill acquisition and skill development programs, it will enable us to even create more jobs in the market. So for me, two areas: skill development, talent development, and education. Thank you.
Okay. So Sauda. Okay, I would like us to end this session by giving suggestions of youth-friendly measures that you think can be taken by the government or civil society organizations to engage the youth more, or to raise the interest of the youth in the budget. So what youth-friendly measures do you think can be taken? Yeah,
I
sounded.
think the youth-friendly measures that need to be taken is one of the important measures it should be made available online in the social media space.
Yeah.
The youths are all over the social media. The youth are very accessible. You get to them through the social media. So let's use the media space to enlighten them on the budget processing, on the implementation too, which will give transparency for everything. Yes.
Yes.
I think the issues that with this, we can make sure that all the solutions can then get it from the public quality that was mentioned by
Down meeting.
Yes.
and good suggestions. Let the youth see the process of
Invitation.
Yes.
That way they will feel involved
Make it popular.
and they will feel part of the process going forward.
And another thing is adding to what she said regarding to the social media. I feel yes, everyone basically high percentage of the youths are actually on the social media platform, but there's also still need for the people that are not really active, because we still also have the less privileged ones that don't really have access to that social media platform. So I feel it's still regarding to that town hall meeting. There should be the accessibility of the budget process should be a key right from the grassroots level, so that everyone will have
And
a face.
the people that the elderlies, the people in their mid-40s, should enlighten the youth, should encourage them to attend those town hall meetings.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
because most of the town hall meetings, you don't see the youth there.
In that case,
Yes.
our religious, traditional,
Yes.
and every other necessary communal institutions
Yes.
within various localities
Encourage.
must be involved, because you cannot overemphasize the power of the elders in any community.
Yes. true.
If, for example, you want to organize town hall meeting and you have paid enough custodies to these religious and traditional leaders,
Yes.
they have the power to talk to the young persons within their community and ensure that they participate in the processes, because they will let them know that by participating in the processes, you will benefit from it in the long run.
Yes.
Thank you.
For a better name.
Hopefully,
Yes,
we're
just-
hoping for a better.
Exactly. And I like what you said about the elders. Most of the people in government today who control the affairs of governance are the elders.
Yes.
So we have spoken. I will continue to speak. We hope that our voices will be heard by these elders and those in government will attend to our needs. So we hope it will not be business as usual, and the needs of the youth will be met.
Address.
It has been a very insightful and informative conversation. I must thank all the participants for engaging in this very robust conversation.
Thank you for
And I
having
hope that our voices will be heard. I also give special thanks to the European Union for its support to democratic governance in Nigeria. It is on that program that the Policy and Legal Advocacy Center Internship Programme and this podcast are being funded. Thank you so much for listening. We hope to see you again next time. Thank you.